Hello and welcome to what I'm going to deem as a build guide, sort of an outline of things that you should keep an eye out to use for end game content. Now, I'm sure a lot of people have already seen, the greatest and bestest, luckiest of pants, ready a fully loaded hand cannon that deals kinetic or damage matching your subclass energy type. It increases the damage, for every shot for, I believe it's 10 seconds. We're going to pair that with Erianna's Vow because, quite frankly, Bungie was not very forgiving when it came to anti-barrier mods this season. They gave us auto rifles. Now, if you're a Titan, I'm sure you're already down to do business with the sweet business. But if you're a hunter or you just like to play a little further back no matter what your class, Erianna's Vow might be a pretty good option. We're going to pair it with Blade Barrage because, it has to be solar to match. I got a bow, and a thing to keep in mind when you do make a sort of endgame build, endgame-ish build, is make sure you have the mods you like. Your ammo finders, your charge with light, obviously your champion mods, things that you would like to use. I'm going to use Thermoclastic Strike, so if I do throw my knives, it stuns them, and then Withering Heat so I can get the bonus damage to the champions. I'm going to be testing it in a live reaction kind of sense, in a 1320 Nightfall on Europa, because I think these are a fair test to see how things feel in content with champions, and since none of the Nightfall strikes this season has given us the barrier champions. I miss my knives. It's gonna be... One thing I don't like about Erianna's Vow is the fucking kick. The recoil on this it can be unforgiving. And of course you want to hit your headshot so you get its first glance perk, which increases your damage even further. And then of course having the catalyst allows you to have auto load and holster on it. Another good benefit to using Erianna's Vow is that you can use it as like a short scoped sniper rifle. It does good damage, and sometimes I feel like it does better damage to champions than some other heavy weapons, not fusion rifles and linear fusion rifles this season, of course, because we have the particle deconstruction mod from your artifact. But as of right now, I don't think rocket launchers are too crazy good unless you have like a Vorpal or lasting impression one. Another thing too is arc shield gone, dead, annihilated. Just get rid of that. I don't think I even had the perk for that kill. It's a good gun. Erianna's Vow is a good gun. It was, came out Shadow Keep, so if you need to get it from the Monument of Lost Light in the tower, it's, I believe, a year 3 tab for Shadow Keep. I think it's just under a year 3 tab. I don't think they even subdivide it. So, it's under year 3. It was the seasonal pass weapon for Season of Undying. That's what it was. Not just Shadow Keep. Season of Undying. I'm gonna die here, probably. Nope. But it's good. And I feel like it's paired really well on the Hunter class with things like Blade Barrage. You could use a bottom tree golden gun so you can get your practice makes perfect and then get your bonus damage with your golden gun itself. But I do like Blade Barrage because if you are using Withering Heat and you are using things like Thermoclastic Strike, you have 3 chances to stun the enemy or to proc your Withering Heat because it's 3 separate knives. And I find that sometimes to be very beneficial. Yeah. Didn't stun him again, but it's good. I'm not good. The gun is pretty good. And of course, you know, pair it with other things that you like to use for overload. This season we have bows. There's a few kinetic bow options that I'm going to go over after I'm done with this. Swap the... Swap to the old threaded needle here with... I think this one's got clown cartridge Vorpal, so it's pretty good for champs, bosses. When you do something like this, you gotta make sure you have stuff you like to use, but that is also very effective. You know, like I have, this is the only kinetic bow I have, the Garden of Salvation bow. It's not bad. I definitely wouldn't grind Garden myself personally for another version of it. When you have other things that are easier to get in the whirlpool and just things that you can kind of drop farm. Where is this guy? Where'd he go? Now, 2-tap. Withering Heat, 2-tap. With Lucky Pants, first glance. It's good. Now, do I think it's going to be good in a Grandmaster? Honestly, I couldn't tell you. It's gonna have to be tested in a Grandmaster by, you know, either yourself or probably bigger YouTubers and content creators and things as such like that. Because I'm not too good at this yet. I'm gonna die here, but I'll do it for the deeps. Of course, you wanna stay alive a little better than myself. The other options you have are, you could use Bottom Tree Gold gun. You can use, if you really wanted to be saucy with it, you could do the old 6-shooter and get your teammates to not like you as much. You know, Erianna's Vow. Ooh, that's gonna hurt. You know, pseudo sniper. It's just a pocket sniper rifle. I hate this boss. You get dregs that'll just throw grenades constantly. Come on. And of course, Fallen in their tracking arc weapons do not help. Thank you for the headshot. Thank you for the headshot. I would personally, if you aren't comfortable with the way Blade Barrage is, you know, you could try it with, oh shit, yeah, Bottom Tree Goldie, precision for the precision one. I think that would be a solid option considering you're using a bow and, you know, the hand cannon that has a scope on it. You're gonna hit more precision hits, you're gonna get your practice mix perfect charged up way faster, and you're gonna be able to deal the extra damage with your super that you get for having practice mix perfect. You bitch. Great. Overall, I think this is a solid option for barrier champions, and really any champion. Once you get the stun off and you're able to proc Lucky Pants, this thing's it's pretty good. It's a melt machine. It does a monstrous amount of damage for being a special weapon, and it's good because, you know, with the reworks to infinite primary ammo and you using this, you're gonna be able to have ammo for it a lot of the time. Like, see, I got green bricks laying around, I got some purple brick laying around. Like, it's good. It's a good option. I personally like it, and I believe I'm going to personally try it when it comes to Grandmasters. So the options you have to use with this are obviously other bows for overload and linear fusions for your unstoppable. Now for that you have, as soon as I load, you're going to have options like Whispering Slab, which can roll with Vorpal Weapon. You got Biting Winds, which you can farm from Varix's bounties on Europa. And then I'm using this, my rule for it, which is not good. It's rangefinder moving target, but you also have this bow, which comes from the Garden of Salvation. And when it comes to linears, you have 3 options, realistically. You have Corsair's Wrath, which is farmable from the Wrathborn Hunts. You have Threaded Needle, which is farmable from the Battlegrounds and the Cabal Hammer. You have Tarantula, which you can get from Banshee turning into weapon parts and all that other stuff. And another option that I actually forgot about until just now is you have the Reed's Regret, which is the new Trials linear fusion rifle. It's stasis. I have no idea what it rolls with aside from Headstone. So that is also an option you keep your eye out for. But that kind of concludes what, you know, this video is really about. It's really just about making sure that you have synergy between weapons you like, kind of giving you your eyes on Erianna's Vow, which to me is a really, really viable option for barrier champions and high-end content. With auto rifles being our only anti-barrier option that we have this season, and it not being too crazy good for some people's playstyle. So I think Erianna's Vow is a solid choice and probably the better option for Grandmaster contents now that I stop and think about it, because you're going to be able to lane, you're going to be able to look and see things, excuse me, from a distance. You're going to have better distance for Erianna's Vow. And I'll probably try it myself in a Grandmaster, you know? But with that said, I hope everybody likes this video. Hopefully it gives you an idea of things you can try, things that you can attempt, you know, mess around with some charge with light mods, stuff like that. I have another video that I have planned for a Warlock build that is primarily based around Well of Light, you know, the things that you pick up off the ground. So I hope everybody has a great day. I'm sure people will maybe want to try this out, adjust it to their liking, and I will see you all next week in the next video. Have a good time.